Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 3 long weeks here at SRA.
Welcome back to the best racing in North America, home of the SRA GT3 Team Series. 60 minutes of action-packed door-to-door racing, 6 divisions, 6 different championships on the line. Let's get ready for some action tonight.
An incident. Turn. We have Boardman at a yellow. Looks like he's dropping down positions there. The chicane has a bunch of cars are coming through.
Byron's going to take a dive in the Lexus.
Johnson looking to go down the inside of Maxwell.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the longest track we have on the calendar. It's Division 1, Round 2 here at Spa-Francorchamps. Joining me on the desk tonight, Josh Damiani. Just me and you tonight. How you doing?
Not too bad, Taylor. Great to be back up here. And yeah, sadly missing Paul A this week, but he's out exploring the United States, so can't really fault him for that.
We cannot, but we will try to do our best to carry his legacy on as everyone is currently getting all their cars set up and joining for qualifying. While that's happening, let's take a look at the 7-kilometer track, longest track here that we have here on the calendar, and possibly I believe that we'll ever race at. 20 turns, like I said, 7 kilometers just inside Belgium. What can you say about this track, Josh? Any key focal point areas we should be looking at here?
Definitely off of the back straight of heading towards turn number 7 there, the end of sector 1, that red painted area. That's probably where we're going to see most of our overtaking opportunities. I mean, chasing that toe down the straight is always powerful, but a lot of these sectors need you to be on point with your line, and it's really going to be a battle of who can hold their line under pressure tonight.
It will indeed, as this is a very flowy track when you get into the second sector, as you said. Currently doing a little something different this week, as the pit lane is enormous. Pit lane is enormous, so we added on an extra minute of qualifying to let the Silvers kind of get in line, get out there, have their time to get around track. So we will just hold off for a minute going down there. I will ask you, Josh, what is your kind of standout car that you've been seeing doing good at this track?
Well, obviously the Ferrari has been absolutely dominant in most tracks, and a place like Spa where you've got straight line speed, but you also need a lot of ability to carry speed through corners. The Ferrari is looking very strong, but a couple drivers in the hands of Nate Spetch and Matt Lehman have been proving the McLaren just might be up there as well. I think we saw Nate clipping into the 216s just before we got into this session, so that's definitely where my eyes are going to be tonight.
And for me, just practicing this track, I was lucky to get a 218. I can't fathom getting a 217 currently, but these people are out here setting 216. So you think there's a chance we see the alien time of a 215?
I think that might be a little too far-fetched, but I'm going to say the ambitious call would be 5 drivers in the 216s. Or more than 5 drivers in the 216s, because off the top of my head, I think there's 2 or 3.
So definitely know Matt Monin can get that 216 down pat, no problem.
Very comfortably. It's kind of scary.
It's just about the rest of them funneling in, see who we can get. Lehman taking the McLaren, kind of will have eyes on him to try to set that 216. Same with Nate Speck, who was on the line. Go out to track as our Silvers are warming up. Here we are looking on board of Stasov, who will be our first qualifier when coming around the track, trying to get their tires warmed up for the first part of qualification. And we do things a little differently here in SRA. If you are new here, we have gold and silver drivers, and that's gonna be Stallworth gonna spin out on his outlap, so good for him.
Very interesting, but not the first time we've seen that, sadly.
Yeah.
Somebody did that in the practice race last night.
Oh, sorry, cut myself off. But if you are new here, we do qualifying a little differently. The first 10 minutes are reserved for our silver drivers. The second 10 minutes are reserved for our gold drivers. And if you're asking yourself who's silver, who's gold, let me direct your attention over to the left-hand side of the screen. Everyone with a silver number plate will be your silver drivers. Everyone with a white number plate will be your gold drivers. And they're all currently in the pits, as you can see on camera there, as Stasov making their way up a Rouge and Radion, and will invalidate their first lap. Not ideal start, but just a warm-up. Expect to see a couple people kind of stopping, getting ready for their laps to go. Josh, you're a avid spa driver. How hard is it to keep your car steady through a Rouge and Radion?
Especially with this most recent update, everything has felt extremely light as I struggled to get my mouse off of that screen and back to race control. But yeah, Eau Rouge and Radion is a very difficult place of racetrack to master because a slight difference in line will drastically change the way the car feels, at least from my own experience. But yeah, there's a beautiful little bump about 3/4 of the way up the hill that loves to toss the car around. And yeah, timing that is, I'd say, 80% of getting that area down.
I would say if we are to have any accidents, that's probably the place we're going to see them. Going too wide through there is also extremely dangerous, even though we start right before a Rouge and Radion. Unlike other tracks, we start after turn 1 here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but also a little bit different, using what I believe is the endurance starting point for Spa. But it also, I think, prevents a lot more chaos from Eau Rouge and Radion, because if you've got everybody filing in there too wide at full speed, it's not too great, but at least we're all in like 3rd gear, can still just go comfortably flat out.
Say that.
Well, I mean, it's a low enough speed. Yeah. As we see our first few times come in here at 2:18.0 is currently the time to beat from Neville.
That will be
in the Aston Martin. Now, something that I was talking with, I think it was Ian Wheeler about last night, even though I don't think he's taking part in the race this week, is how difficult yet easy it is to set a lap here at Spa. It's pretty easy to get a banker lap in, but it's also very easy to invalidate a push lap.
As we will see from a lot of these drivers, I mean, they're all pretty much pros in our book, so maybe we won't see. But you'll definitely see these cars on the edge just kind of sliding, throwing themselves into the corners.
Yeah, as the Pipsy and Kelvin Loud trying to jump all over those curbs, getting the last few tenths he can. And that's just kind of where it lies. I mean, when you get towards the end of the qualifying session and you start seeing certain people getting up in the times, and you look at them and you're like, oh, you know, I should be up there with them. And you push that little bit extra, it's very easy to slide the car just too wide or take just too much curb.
We're already about to get into the 216s. Basting going to set a 17.4 currently. Griffith is already 4/10 up on their time, set to take provisional pole for the silvers.
Yeah, and in the pip here we've got John Sparks, who's currently 8/10 up on his 2:18.3, so judging at the rate he's improving, by the end of the lap he should have a pretty competitive 2:17.
And if it's anything like last week to go off of, these times are going to be extremely close, down to the 1,000th even. We saw a couple positions be made by just 5,000ths of a second at France. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to have the same thing. Maybe it's a little less mitigated since it's such a long track.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, one corner can yield so much time. I think it's a lot more possible for times to end up almost on top of each other.
See another 17.4 go up from Stasov. Griffith going to catch Sand in a little bit of traffic, trying to make up time. Still up on their time by 8 tenths, 7 tenths now. Didn't get the best of exits there, but we'll be able to put it on provisional pole. 17-1. Dare I say he would have had a 16 if Sand wasn't there.
Just as that ends, we have John Sparks rounding the last corner here. Lost him on the board as he's fallen too low, but comes home in third place with a 17-4. Pretty good starting point.
All these times kind of ramping up. A few people backing out because they are catching the cars in front. We don't overtake in qualifying here at SRA. So they do have to back out a lap if the car in front is still on a valid lap.
That is right. And we've actually still got 2 silver drivers who have not set a lap time yet. That's Matt Lehman and, I'm not sure the first name, but Aleksenkov in the Ferrari number 612. It's just starting their first push lap.
Better get going. There's only 2 minutes left in the session, and it takes about 2 minutes 15 seconds just to get around. As Lehman's going to break into the 16s, 2:16.9. We'll be able to have enough time for one more lap.
Yeah, still, in my opinion, one of the most obscure choices for the silver division to start off the season, but definitely starting off this qualifying on a very good foot with being the only driver into the 216s so far.
I think we'll have Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just looking past P1 and P2, the splits in position are actually pretty large. 1 to 2 is 2 tenths, 2 to 3 another 2 tenths, 3 tenths to 4th, close between 4th and 5th, and then Stasov and Kelvin Lau actually have the exact same time.
Yes.
Which is always funny to see.
They are. It's a little kind of blocky, per se. You have this block that's kind of 5 tenths away from the leader, this block that's like 8 tenths away from the leader, this block that's 9 tenths. It's all still relatively close, but compared to what we were seeing last week, it's nowhere as near.
I agree. The interesting thing to see will be whether the silver division tightens themselves up, or if the gold division is going to just file themselves in between all these different groups.
As we are about to see Dan Cran finish their fastest lap, currently up 4 tenths. Not enough to put them on provisional pole. Didn't get the greatest exit out of the last turn. We'll be able to put a P5, 17.4. We'll be able to have another push lap if he's got enough in the tank. As gold driver is waiting at the end of the pit lane. 20 seconds and they're released.
Yeah, we've got a few drivers who are still up on their times. John Sparks was up a big chunk, but just made what appears to be a little bit of a mistake at the start of his lap. Bisden's coming home just over a 10th and a half up on his lap into the bus stop chicane here.
Neville and Aston Martin is up 2 tenths, not even halfway around the track yet.
Bisden up to 4th place with a 2:17.6. Oh, Kelvin Lau unfortunately makes a mistake on his lap. He was up almost 4 tenths pretty quickly early on in the lap. Must have had a very good Eau Rouge Radeon, and can see he's also getting a pretty tow from this Ferrari in front of him. Checking out the replay of what happened here in the pit.
Gold drivers have been released, so everyone on their that is a silver will have to come around and finish their lap, ending with Diaz. Then the gold drivers will start again. Currently on board with Neville, who is a 10th up on their time. Lost a bit in Sector 2, trying to get it all back in Sector 3.
And the pip's currently on with Dylan Stallworth, who's trying to say hello, how you doing to the top of the leaderboard. Coming out of the last corner, 9 tenths up on his 2:17.8. Just misses pole position.
17 flat. Not a bad time. Not a bad time at all.
Not at all, putting himself between Lehman and Griffith to make a solidified split.
Neville will not improve and then finish P4. Sparks currently coming home with a 10th up in the pocket. Jump a few positions up. Dan Cran has invalidated behind him, so this lap will not count. He is just driving for fun.
Landry comes home on his last lap to improve 4 tenths.
Sparks not getting an awful exit out of the bus stop. We'll only be able to improve a few hundredths. Stay P6 for the time being. Roman, as you said, P10 for him. Sparks gonna pull off, and we now shift our focus over to our gold drivers. Leading them away, Matt Moaning, the one who we think will absolutely obliterate this time chart.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I would be putting money on him for pole position tonight. Just a safe bet there.
It is. Out of the silver drivers, I am kind of surprised to see both, all four of the Infinity Stones together. The McLaren, Ferrari, Porsche, and Aston Martin are all in the top 4 right now.
And as much as that is beautiful to see, the big question mark, I think, lies in Kelvin Lau, who was only able to put at P9. Now, like we saw, he did have that issue in his last push lap, but that Lambo has proved to be pretty competitive this season. And being the top in the class, actually there is only one, but we shall see. There's 4, 5, 6 of them. No, 5 of them in the gold division. So.
A lot more in gold. But it's an extremely fast car. I'd be hard pressed to say if it isn't one of the better cars here at Spa. But we shall see, because Matt Moaning will take it around and probably make it look like an insanely fast car. Not to shame on the McLaren of Lehman and... What's the McLaren? Nate Speck.
Nate Speck, yeah.
They can definitely lay down some times, but I think the Lambo has just a bit more horsepower to kind of drag it along.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's only so much driver mod you can apply until BOP just does the work. You know what I mean? Like, a faster car will always be faster in a straight line. But it's really cool to see what people can wring out of these other cars in terms of pace.
What I am surprised about is we don't have a single Mercedes. A car that kind of got secretly buffed in the wings. Not a single one on track. Out of 42 of our drivers.
I don't know. The Mercedes has always been an iffy choice for most people, even though it was very competitive in the off season, and it proved that it was friendly with 1.9. I kind of understand the lack of lenience towards it, but I don't know. The more I sit and think about it, the more I'm confused by how many people jumped at the Ferrari.
Well, new car.
It reminds me of the M4.
It reminds
I think it was
me
the
of
M4.
the Audi.
Well, when the BMW came, the thing was an absolute rocket ship and had great brakes. And it got some BOP, and then it got an update and became very draggy.
That's kind of how I remember the Audi. The Audi was an extremely stable and powerful car. But BOP came, sent it straight to the ground, and it just wasn't competitive anymore. Now, we do have 2 Audis on track tonight, I think. See what they can do, at least. But I have a gut feeling that the Ferrari's going to end up the same way.
I do too. I just hope it's after the season.
I hope it's mid-season. I hope every single other driver around me gets absolutely put into the ground because of it.
Just get absolutely bopped, eh?
Yep.
That's not nice.
We go for wins here, Josh, alright?
I like your style. We're still yet to see a gold driver eclipse the top 5, and Matt Menning is only 2/10 up on his 217.2, looking to just gingerly eclipse the 216s. What's going on?
I'm not sure. Menning will invalidate O'Brien, though, behind all of those drivers, currently on a very fast lap. Majid's in the way. He's 4/10 up. Brian may have to back out of this depending on where...
Faz is also up on his lap 4/10, so it'll be...
It's going to be close. O'Brien's actually gaining time to the bus stop following Majid through. But that exit suffers a lot more. We'll still get 4/10. We'll put it P2 for the time being, 16.9. Let's see any improvements there. Nordstrom is going to be improving as well in their first lap, about 2/10. We'll be able to put it P3, so now we have everyone kind of eclipsing into the top 5 now. But a ton of gold drivers still down the list.
Yeah, there's still quite a few drivers who are yet to set a time as Fazley loses it coming up Eau Rouge. A little bit too much pressure there.
That might be good for O'Brien, because that moves Fazley out of the way. He doesn't have to back out anymore. There's only 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. I think that's going to be the end of Fazley's qualifying.
It might be. He jumped straight out of the pits after returning, so he might get back around, but Mr. Sir comes home with his first lap of the qualifying session at 2:17.385, puts him in 12th position. Not too comfortably, but a pretty good time nonetheless. Over a second faster than I can do.
As Menning is having issues kind of here, there, everywhere right now. Only a 10th up right now. He's trying to take too much out of this car. Actually just lose it all in Puan now.
I wonder if he's overdriving the car a little bit.
He might be. He might be feeling the pressure for once. But someone who's not feeling the pressure is O'Brien, who is currently almost 2/10 up on their time. And if can stick it, we'll take provisional pole. It just needs 2/100ths of a second. Lost all 2/10. Congratulations on your caster curse, O'Brien.
Here's your prize.
Here's your prize. No improvement on your time. Oh, it does look like he gained a good bit of time catching that draft off Fazley, though.
More than likely. The tow is always helpful.
Absolutely.
Marquez in the pip comes home for his first lap.
Brian
2:17.6.
Brian not going to improve at all. We'll have to go back around. Mercer going to set a decent lap. 2 was 3/10 up. P6 will be enough for them. 17.1. These gaps are getting ever so closer now.
Yeah, everything's starting to really tighten up. Hopping on the bonnet cam to see what this corner's really like at full tilt.
It is sketchy, to say the least.
Lost a little bit of time bouncing off that curb, but still gaining on himself down the straight a little.
He just needs a 16. He will kick himself if he doesn't get a 16.
I would be, with the way that he's been driving this week.
Yep. Qualifying will be over, so gold drivers have one last lap to set. Dan Good here at the back, improving by 2/10 right now, but not going to be enough to really move them up the board. Right into the bus stop chicane. Can he gain mass amount of time? Doesn't look like. Going to take a little too much curb on both sides of the bus stop. We'll go up 2/10, but we'll stay P39. But we have two drivers who did not even set a lap. Spangler and Kim. No lap set for them.
That is very interesting. I wonder if they joined late.
Could be a strategy.
Had a connection issue.
Could be strategy. Start from the back. Let everyone kind of do their thing. Although we haven't had carnage yet in D1, but it's only been one race, so we hold. Won't jinx anything just yet. As Menning pulling off to the side of the track, and we'll just take the P10 right now. O'Brien not improving at all. Gonna have to get a 10th and a half just off of this bus stop chicane. Not sure if he can do it. Going real deep on it. Gonna have to pull back. We'll back out. Go straight into the pits. No improvement there. Lehman still holding provisional pole for the time being. Can Wilson gain 2/10 in the bus stop chicane? Put him on pole. Currently a 10th and a half up. Alright, some of that Lambo pretty powerful here. Nice, clean, smooth. 3/10 up now. Not enough to put it on pole. Didn't get a good enough exit, but we'll be able to put it P7. Kostovich coming out of the last turn. We'll get 2/10 up on their time. Just 2/10 will put them up to P16. That's a decent sized jump. I think that will spell the end of our qualifying. Lehman, O'Brien, Fimbres Casa, Nordstrom, and Stallworth will be our top 5. There's 2 silver drivers in that top 5.
And the top 32 drivers of qualifying split by just over 1 second. That is
It's kind of
fabulous.
nuts. Drivers will now start getting their setups ready to go for the absolute chaos that will be a Rouge and Radeon. So while they do that, get their starts warmed up and everything, let's go over kind of the previous results of last week, the standings. Currently, team standings, Car Vroom Drive, good name, going to be leading that, 160. That's a team of Jeffrey Bray and Javier Marquez. Good job on Ben. Oh, there's two Vroom card. Oh, hold on. Car Vroom Drive is leading, then Vroom Car Drive is in second.
Now that's
That
was confusing.
My brain meltdown. Team of Jeremy Mercier and Peter O'Brien will take P2. SOP Esports Racing, Ed Kersteller and Danny Basin will take your P3 spot. And, oh my gosh, Drive Car Vroom will be P4. Eric Neville and Jordan Nixon, and sometimes maybe good Menning and Majid round out your top 5. Everyone else down the board. Still everything to play with. We have 7 rounds if you include this one to go. On to the driver standings. Menning going to take P1 in France. Will lead the division. Javier Marquez will take P2. Kerster will take P3. Mercer will take P4. And Pierce will round out the top 5. Still everything to play for. Nothing is set in stone yet. Everyone on this board has some positions to gain. 41 drivers currently on the board participating. We have another 41 to participate tonight. It's going to be a fun, eventful, packed racing night.
Yeah, Spa's one of those tracks where everybody's got a lot of practice and a lot of history here. Everybody loves driving the track, whether they love trying to drive it as fast as possible or just cruising around on it. And it's a playground of opportunity.
You look in your picture-in-picture window, Damiani going to get a nice camera view of all the drivers going to be taking off.
Yeah, sitting here watching. Take a look at all the liveries as everybody heads out on the formation lap here. Actually updated my awesome sim racing, so I've gotten everybody who submitted one tonight. I apologize for last week.
There are some really good liveries. I'm convinced that no one here at SRA is actually drivers, and we're all just a bunch of artists.
Exactly. It's like real racing. Nobody's actually race car drivers. We're just industry professionals with free time.
I love that. Drivers will head around the track, warm up their tires and brakes, but not going to be a lot to warm up in terms of tires, as they won't really be using them much for the first 2 straights.
Yeah, and it's kind of a downside of this track. You need that tire temperature as soon as you want to push here, and with how long this lap is, it's a workout to try and keep them warm in this out lap.
Someone in chat saying that their PB is a 2:16.3.
Stop it. Get some help.
I feel like we could have seen Menning do that. Maybe it just wasn't his time. But we'll start P11. You know whose face I did not see in qualifying, and I think is the only person we're missing on grid?
So who would that be?
Alex Chilcutt.
That is a very good point. Yeah, we did not see him tonight.
He is the
I'm unsure why.
If he would have joined, we would have a full, complete D1 house right now. Well, now I'm upset at him. Someone get him in the server right now. At least let him join in the pit lane real quick. Just to say we have 42 drivers. So we are coming around here. What can we expect from the start, Josh?
I think we're gonna expect a lot of. Actually, I don't know. We got quite the mix during the practice race, which was D1 and D2 mix, but there was quite a few people who tried to play opportunistic at Eau Rouge and Radion, and there's a lot of people who tried to play the safe route and let's just stay calm here and battle it out on the straightaway. So hopefully we're not going to see a bunch of yellow flags.
Cross your fingers. But all it takes is one wrong move, someone not to look in the mirror. We have an incident on our hands, but we'll try to avoid that as much as possible, especially since we do not start at the finish line straight. We start around turn 1, as mentioned in qualifying. If you just joined us, the race starts on the... I guess it's the pit straight for us, technically. Starts on the pit straight after turn 1, so we start going into a Rouge and Radion to avoid the absolute colossal mess of the hairpin.
Exactly. Thank you, Kunos, for making a smart decision.
Very good, very good. How about a McLaren on pole? How does that kind of sit with you?
It sits pretty great with me. I mean, honestly, lines up with what I've been seeing in the practices, besides Menning not taking the pole, or being up there with him. I mean, like, taking the pole or being 2, I mean, you get what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
But, like, Matt is pushing. I don't think he liked that he got put in silver. And, yeah, so I'm fully expecting to see one, if not both of those McLarens be up towards the top. And Nate only being down in P15. See what that thing can do in race trim.
Leaving for Alien. That's all I gotta say. Driver's gonna go 2 wide now, about to start off the race. We don't have Paul here to go SRA, off and away SRA. I won't steal his tagline, but I'll try to fill in.
That's the league tagline, sir. You are more than welcome to use it.
Okay. Well,
It's become a nice quip that Paul has introduced to us back in the inaugural broadcasting season, and yeah, stuck around. So
well, I guess I will be stealing it tonight. Gonna have to show him up, show him how to do it.
Drop down to about 25th position for the start of the race here.
Your pit will be capturing the kind of back half. The front half will be captured in your main screen, and we are about to line up and go. Everyone on the straight. And we are off and away for SRA as everyone's still 2 wide going through Rouge and Radion. No one really going to make any moves here. Still going to go 2 wide. No one touching, at least in the front half. Clean entry, clean exit through. Love to see that stuff from D1, and it looks like Matt Lehman will be able to get out in front of
a couple
Patrick
drivers
O'Brien.
in the back having to use the runoff road, but everybody making it through that super clean. Lots of 3 wide down the straightaway here.
Is Lehman going to fend off successfully? Fimbus Casa going to fend off successfully. Everyone else going 2 wide in the backfield. We are all still bunched up here as the front 4 have single filed out. Mercer's going to try to take Stalwart down on the outside here. Stalwart going to be able to hold that one. Trying to come up in here is Wilson. Not going to be able to do anything there. We'll have to slide right back in line. Basin on the outside of Dromo. Trying to get anything done, make up any positions. Nothing going to happen. Everyone going to straighten out here. Down in the Poulan, we do have a couple people 2 wide. Basin's going to have to take the outside. Dremel has the inside for Poulan. Basin having that preferred line. Will take that position. Menning trying to make up any kind of position he had after his terrible qualifying. Mr. Sir, they're trying to take advantage as well as he slots in right behind Menning. Actually going to look for a dive on him. Dromo is going to back out of the move. We'll be able to have that, and there is a yellow flag.
Yeah, there's been a few yellow flags. A couple drivers in the back of the field off the main straightaway got tagged coming into turn 7 there. But saw a couple quick yellow flags pop up and then immediately disappear. So I wonder if it's just some subtle contact in these slower
We are still
corners.
going as Mr. Sir is around. Little
Keeps
tag
himself
on the
out of the
rear.
wall.
Good job on Mr. Sir. Can't really get to him. Gotta rewind 30 seconds just to see exactly what happened. He was doing pretty good trying to follow Menning through here. I think he might have got tapped in the back by Spec.
As Koshtosh looks around the outside of Spetch coming into the last corner, has the inside line, and now they're going to drag race down towards the first corner. Spetch has the inside and the better drive. Looks like they're going to settle out for the drive down towards Eau Rouge. Everybody's still toughing it out here. Turn 1 looking to be a battleground for position.
Pit window is still open. O'Brien should get into the draft of Lehman here. See what that can do. Pit window 55 minutes long. So if you have any damage, now's the time to fix it.
As Parembo's around at the top of Radion, thankfully holds his brakes and gets himself off the racing line. Looks for a good opportunity to rejoin and says, I'll use the pit road.
Good job, good job. Nordstrom trying to make up time to finish. Costa's not going to be able to do it. Stallworth chomping at the bit of Nordstrom as well, as we are still in a big train here. Dan Cran, Stasif going side by side here. Stasif's going to hold the inside, not going to be able to hold it long enough, and actually makes contact with Cran, which gives Lau the position here. Cran has to force to slot right in, and there's contact here a little bit in the back. Nixon's going to get away fine. Alex Roman attempted to move, didn't get it right, did back out. We'll just slot back in line.
That's the craziness of these flowing corners, man. One into the next, and when you're battling with cars, it invites everybody around you into that mix.
As you see Neville trying to get on with it, trying to get Griffith out of the way, later on the brakes in that Aston Martin. We are all still pretty much one big train right now. 2 people in the pits, though.
Shout out Dan Good with the fastest lap of a 2:48.6.
That will go away real quick.
I mean, who knows? Everybody just keeps invalidating a little bit all race.
That's true. There's a lot of invalid laps on the board. Neville not going to choose to go down the inside base and not going to choose to do so either. So we all hold for a little bit. No one's side by side just yet. Fastest lap for Wilson, 2:18.9.
As we see Alexinkov jump into the pits there, as well as the driver behind him, driver 113. But it might be a battle of strategy tonight. This big long pit lane is proving a pain for everybody, no matter if you're taking it for extra damage or for your necessary pit stop.
Yeah, we should see the kind of back half people kind of slide to the pits, as Basin's having to make all kinds of movements here. Just try to keep it together. Stay out of the back of Neville coming down this long straight. Neville might try to look for a move here on Griffith if he gets close enough. Doesn't look like he will be close enough, so we'll just stay right where he's at.
Interesting choice by that driver who's currently parked at the end of the pit lane. I wonder what's going on there with them.
I just think they didn't want to get in the way of anyone.
Right, but that's not our rule set. He is entitled to that rule set. The cars on track are required to move out of the way, as that's the only place he has to go. I mean, I don't recognize the name, so I'm going to assume it's a newer driver, and hey, err on the side of caution, but I mean, yeah, that's your racetrack, bro.
You can take that all you want, as we still have a train of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About 14 drivers, and Kevin Lau has spun that poo on.
Oh.
Ooh.
Holding the brakes. Ooh, just clips somebody else there. Who was that?
Unlucky. Catch it on replay, see what exactly happened.
Looked to be Patrick Rust.
Yeah, it's not the greatest place to be. Spun
oh no! Thankfully, kept that car out of the wall.
Oh,
but that flat spot is not gonna help.
Self-inflicted by Lau. Ooh, there was actually two collections there. Rust and someone with a silver livery.
Yeah, I believe that's the Ferrari of James Riley. Very cool car, I'll say. Very cool livery.
It's Neville off into the pits. Will set Basin free on Griffith. O'Brien still following in the wakes of Lehman, trying to get around this McLaren. Not able to do so. Through, he's actually having to lift through Rouge and Radion, which is killing his straight speed. Now what you want to see, Nordstrom's going to get a pretty good jump on Fimbres Casas here, all the way down Kemmel straight. Will decide to go on the outside. Casas trying to fend him off, does a good job at it, squeezes him all the way. We'll keep him behind, young little wiggly Stallworth in the back. No one else choosing to go for a dive.
Nixon's looking for a move here on Dan Cran coming into turn 7. Holds it around the outside, gives him lots of room. Look at that racing. A little bit of drift. Says this is my real estate.
Clean racing. Love to see it.
That invites Marquez into the mix. Gets a little bit squirrely on the curb there. Foaming at that opportunity.
You gotta choose your battles carefully around here. The second you go into a battle is the second you like you said, you open the door to literally everyone else behind you. That's how tight and compact we are right now.
Exactly. You pointed out that I believe I forget who it was you said that was lifting coming through Eau Rouge and it was hurting their straightaway speed. I wonder if that was slightly intentional so that they're spaced out by turn 7 and they can just continue to tow off of each other.
It is O'Brien. They're not on the same team at all.
Right, but just logical. I mean, Matt Lehman and O'Brien are both very intelligent drivers, and there's still 51.5 minutes left of this race.
Maybe
the last thing you'd want to do is collect each other this early. As if we see another yellow flag, and that driver returns to pits.
Roman, actually. A yellow flag in a Rouge and Radion.
Not having the best
we might
weekends.
see a dive here into the bus stop chicane. Nordstrom gonna have to take that outside. Fimbres Casa defending very good. We'll actually just dive straight into the pits.
That was kind of beautiful, the synchronized drift from those two portions there.
Love to see it. This isn't a drift competition, but we'll take it.
Exactly. So we see in the pip, someone's trying to mimic the same move, and they also jump into the pits. That is car 449 of Javier Marquez.
I think we're going to see a lot of people jump into pits with these battles. Seeing as it's such a big track, there's so much space everywhere. You could probably file in with zero traffic. Everyone
you can really see in the pip there how loose you get from the aero wash coming up Eau Rouge. On board with Kostovich's Ferrari behind Faz Majid in 12th place.
That full fuel tank probably doesn't help at all either. Just probably wants to send your car a little bit farther than what it should. Mercer
just might.
Catching Stallworth catching Nordstrom. This train is just still going.
Yeah, and so long as they poke at each other, I think it always will. I mean, that little bit of a defensive line will slow you up.
But you know who backed out of the train early? Menning. Menning is now down in P28. Has a pit stop cleared, I believe. But I have to fight a little bit to get
does
back.
have a pit stop cleared. What an absurd pit loss. A minute 19 on a 3-second stop. That's disgusting.
I mean, the lap is 2 minutes and 20 seconds, or, well, 18 seconds here, according to O'Brien, who puts in the fastest lap. But it's still absolutely absurd compared to literally every single other track.
Dan Good gets quite loose coming up the hill. Saw a yellow flag for him and big drift. Holy cow. Wow.
Good save by him in your picture-in-picture where Mercer's gonna actually have a move here on Stallsworth, it looks like. Getting a better exit out of the final turn. We'll decide to back out, just slot right back in. Opportunity not seized there. Actually, there's a little bit of team orders here.
Yeah, quite possibly. A little bit of I'm faster than you.
Different car, but team orders. Unless Stallworth just absolutely missed the breaking point.
Yeah, it could be that too. But keeping a quiet eye on the battle of Evan Kim and Victor Diaz. Evan's been glued to his bumper for the last few laps here, and Felipe Vicini was on the back of them as well, but he jumped into the pits just at the start of this lap.
Basin and Griffith are actually going side by side down the straight here. Griffith holding the inside, able to fend off that position, but Basin able to come back on the second turn. Basin not getting good enough traction. Will just slop behind Griffith. Might have been a little tap there, sending Griffith off into the gravel. He's controlling it, and he gets it. Well done. Basin now still holding that inside line. Dromo going to try to come in here, get a position. Dromo comes through and takes both of them. Takes a mistake. Turns it into his own. Basin trying to come right back at him on the inside. Dromo is still able to hold off, and we'll take 2 positions in 1 turn. Thank you very much.
What an overtake by Koa, taking that opportunistic move. And when he saw the gray Porsche of Griffith go wide coming out of turn 9, he knew, coming into this hairpin, these cars are going to fight, and I'm going to take the position. Held that line, the door opened right up for him.
Absolute good heads-up driving from Dromo. Puts him ahead of this train now on the hunt for Wilson. Joseph here trying to get past Majid, who's in this train. Joseph all over the back of Majid, trying to find a way past. Not a good place to pass, but still right there on the bumper. Might actually have a run here out of the turn.
This is a great heads-up comparison between the quote-unquote OP car and the car that might have just got buffed into being the best car.
They're both OP, as Joseph looking for a way around, not going to do it. Majid putting a good park in the middle, and actually there's still a battle happening ahead between Griffith and Basin here. Basin's going to have to let Griffith go. This might open the door for Majid and Joseph to come into this battle. Joseph's actually looking down the inside, not going to do it. Actually, late move, pulls back in. Will stay behind Majid. He's getting a little antsy there.
Just a little bit. And I mean, gotta keep him on his toes too. Like, you can't sit there and be passive all the time. Poke out in the mirrors, let him know, hey, I just might try it if you slip up.
Check him out. Check him out.
Exactly.
Basin.
Some people really don't like that, but you know what? You gotta play the mental game as much as you gotta play the racing game too.
I do it all the time, I can't lie.
Neither can I, man.
Basin.
I live in your mirrors rent-free.
Basin trying to find a way past. Actually ended up cutting the track in a Rouge and Radion just to keep up speed with Griffith, but Griffith is actually absolutely tearing away here in this second sector. So much so that he's caught right back up the Dromo. Joseph just looking like he wants to get around Majid, trying to chomp at the bit.
And I think at this point it's a little bit of I am faster than you, because he's fallen off back a few tenths and is almost immediately right back up on him every time.
He is having the downshift 3 times in Puyon. It could be the Ferrari gearing, but it seems like a lot.
Yeah, that is quite far.
As Majid's actually going to get dropped off from the draft here, could be a good chance for Joseph to come in and swoop this position away.
Ooh, gets a little bit squirrely coming through.
Good, you have a battle happening on your screen.
Yes, we do. That's Felipe Vicini, Landry, and Snelltrain all trying to battle for this position. As Vicini goes up the inside, and a car in the background there touches the grass. Thank you, TV Cam, for showing me absolutely none of that. That's Snelltrain, number 331 in the Porsche. Looks like he might have just caught the grass in the braking zone, and the car got loose on him. Judging by the paint job on the car, it looks like he kept it out of any real trouble.
We'll have to, a Code Brown moment there probably, so see if he gets a little rattled.
But Felipe is the driver that was on the back of that Evan Kim and Victor Diaz battle, so it'll be interesting to see how fast he gets up and past Zach Martin here, as he has already completed his pit stop in order to try and really lock in that undercut.
Majid got a little wiggly at the top of Radion. Might open the door here for Joseph. Looks like he held the speed, though. Joseph closing the gap. Not going to be able to close it enough, so we'll be stuck behind Majid. Probably for another lap, unless he can find a very good opportunity. Little battles happening here and there. Everyone's kind of settled down. The battle for the lead, Lehman O'Brien, is just a second apart, not like last week where it was about 20 seconds. Joseph getting a better run than Majid out of that corner. Probably won't make a move here in the Puan. Other battles happening on track. Mercer, Stallsworth, and Wilson currently in a train. Dromo, Griffith, Basin currently in a train. Joseph probably has the best opportunity to go at Majid now, right on the bumper. Will not take it. Evan Kim and Victor Diaz will be in a little battle. Vicini, Landry, Martin, all kind of there in a battle, just on the edge. There are little battles here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, but for the most part, the field is spreading itself out. O'Brien now 1.2 off of Lehman up in that first place still.
Joseph trying to just close this gap as much as possible. I don't think he's having so many issues just trying to find the braking zone. Majid's actually going to go on defensive there for a second. We'll go right back onto the racing line. Joseph is just slotting right in, trying to find a way through, just following, waiting for a mistake to happen, but might be a little hard for a mistake happen from Majid.
Yeah, he's one driver that may not always be the fastest on track, but he is extremely consistent.
Currently leading our pitters right now, Fimbres Casas. 26 seconds from the leader, or gap, next car in front.
He's currently
a minute
1 minute
11.
11. Yeah, which is inside the pit loss to the leader, but don't get your hopes up. That doesn't mean Diego's going to be in first.
No.
Although that would be pretty awesome.
Just
to see a stupendous undercut.
Joseph forcing Majid to take a defensive line, not able to do it, not able to get past on the outside. At this point, it's been a few laps. At what point do you call it, just say, I might as well just go into the pits? Ooh, well, you don't need to anymore.
Exactly. You don't need to. It's just kind of don't push the car too hard and force the overtake. Just chill out behind him, and eventually either he's going to pit or he's going to make a mistake.
He made the mistake. It's his position now. Opens the door to Stasov to come in here if he can stick on the back of Majid. Currently having some issues there. We'll keep an eye on that battle for the time being. Basin still trying to chase down Griffith.
Yeah, that damage definitely not going to help Stasov.
Basin had a load of yellow. Does Stasov have damage?
Sorry, the damage is not going to help Fazli as he tries to fend off Stasov.
About to say, we got a little backward. That's okay.
Roger for now says Kostovich should pit this lap.
That was probably when Kostovich was behind Majid.
I would assume so as well.
All
about it.
All battles kind of fizzling here. Evan Kim currently our closest battle on track with Vicini right now. Down in the people who have pitted. Evan Kim didn't get a qualifying lap in, so he started from the back and he already made up a good bit of positions.
Yeah, he's been on an absolute charge tonight.
He's going for driver of the week. Thanks.
That would be nice.
Thanks, Mike Gino, for doing that, slandering my name and my entire division.
Yeah, gonna have to go back and watch that. For sure.
He called
I
he called D3 the admin's retirement home. Stasiv looking for something along the outside of Majid. Majid just trying to defend off here. Not having a great time. Stasiv needs to find a way around this or he's going to be losing way too much time. Mr. Sir will be into the pits now.
Gomer Wilson really starting to push the issue on Stallworth here. Wants to make that 5th position.
We see an overtake for the top 5 this early. Stasiv trying to find any kind of way. Majid getting a little bit twitchy there on the exit. Stasiv really needs to find literally any way around. Nixon's actually coming up on the back of Stasiv now, which could spell disaster for him. Coming up to the bus stop chicane. Majid holding that defensive line. Stasiv is actually looking down on the inside. We'll just morph back into the racing line. Thought we were going to get a dive for the century. Stasiv just decides to go off into the pits. Probably a good move. It's in your picture-in-picture window. You're watching the battle between Wilson and Stallsworth. Main screen, you have Basin and Griffith. Right now. Porsche on Porsche. And Lambo and Ferrari.
And it appears the undercut has worked as Evan has come out 5/10 behind Felipe Vicini for 26th position as that battle starts to heat up again as they wait for Victor Diaz.
Trying to see where Stasiv kind of comes out in the pits. Right now he's currently down in P17. See if he loses any other position. Looks like P17 will be his place. Pits are an absolute killer on this track.
Mm-hmm.
Lau on Plaza is another battle in the back. Having Kim on Vicini. Another battle in the back. There you go. We'll jump up to P18. We'll just lead our pitters better.
To point out how brutal the pit stop is, Stasiv hadn't stopped his car yet when we said that P19 was going to be his home.
Oh.
He was still driving through the pit lane to his box. He's now finished his stop and is out of the pit lane in 20 seconds.
Thank you for the clarification.
It's just wild. I went to look. I'm like, oh, is he having a long pit stop or something? No, he's just not at his box yet.
I saw the P disappear from his name real quick, and I was like, oh cool. As Wilson and Stallsworth, the closest they've ever been together here in a bit, and actually looks like they're going to try to make a dive out on the inside. Nothing's going to happen. Back in line.
As Wilson decides to opt for the pits.
Could be a good call here. Keep an eye on that battle. O'Brien actually just kind of peeking within that second of Lehman every now and then.
And every time I go to find a battle, somebody goes to the pits. So if you guys want to race a little bit, that'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
I'm gonna hop on board with Evan Kim.
He can't pit unless he has some terrible accident. But Basin's actually looking like he's got an extremely better run than Griffith here out of Original Radian. Opting for the inside. Gonna poke his nose up the very, very inside. Gonna take it down into the braking zone. Griffith will have the later brakes and will be able to keep the position. Basin not doing too much to fight it. We'll stick behind.
It seems to be a pretty popular move tonight. Did not think that was going to be the place to be.
Around the outside.
Around the outside, yeah. I mean, instinct tells you to go for the inside, but it takes a lot of confidence to try and really push yourself around the outside of a car on that corner.
Basin,
you really got to leave room.
Basin could have had the outside, plenty of space to take it. Instead, decides to opt for the tiniest bit of space on the inside possible. Might have accidentally just messed him up. Could have been an overtaking opportunity. Well, these people do still have to pit, so at what point does Basin start saying, maybe I should go into the pitch, see where I come out? Because now we have a lot of traffic back there.
Diaz on his way out of the pits. Looks like he's going to be clear of that battle. Maybe? No. There's Felipe in his mirrors.
That's never fun.
Felipe moves to go around the outside into turn 7, and he's going to have that comfortably. So this battle picks up right where it left off.
Should be interesting to say Lee Basin deciding not to pit wants to overtake Griffith on track. But Brian's now closing the gap to the lead. 0.9 is the gap currently.
Yeah, they've been going up and down a little bit for the most of the race, but it's been floating realistically around that 1 second mark. I think it's going to have to be an accident or some bad tire wear.
Basin, closest he's ever been at Rouge and Radion, actually having to compromise his line a little bit. Dromo has a yellow flag. He's off completely, disconnected from the server, it looks like. He went off into the woods. Basin in the slipstream of Griffith. Will he try back down on the inside again? No, we'll just stay right back in line. But everyone moves up a place because of Dromo's disconnect.
That's a damn shame. He had a beautiful overtake on those two cars, and yeah, I wonder what happened there.
I was wondering why I saw a yellow flag on Dromo, and then I looked at his dot, and it was in the woods.
Oh no.
So, either he had one hefty wreck, or he disconnected. Fatal error.
To the Team Series chat I go.
Resident reporter Damiani on the case. Basin still trying to get on the case of Griffith to get around, actually inviting Kostovich into this battle now. Basin just seems so much faster than Griffith currently, but Griffith's still holding in there.
Yeah, no word so far as to what's happened with Koa.
Could just be trying to get right back in the server, at least finish the race.
Could be.
We do have attrition of 3 people, I think, currently. This battle between Griffith and Basin has just now entered Kostovich into the battle. Basin now going to have to choose wisely on where to do his attacks. Fimbris Casa up to P14 now, still leading the pitters.
Yeah, as these little groups are starting to form back up again with the rest of people filing through their pit stops.
We are only halfway through the race.
Shout out
Basin.
Ooh.
Sorry, Basin's going down on the inside again here. Down Kimmel Straight, had an extremely good run out of Rouge and Radion. Will be able to hold the inside. He's actually level with Griffith now. Holding it very cleanly, drifting, able to avoid the contact. But Griffith will hold that position for the time being. Kostovich now trying to look. Will we have another similar Dromo situation? Basin now down on the inside, trying to hold this slot. He is having that slot. That is all his line right now. Griffith going to have to concede. And now Kostovich is trying to get on Griffith around the outside. Not going to be able to do it. We'll have to slot back in. Griffith loses the position to Basin. Might now lose the position to Kostovich.
Very good overtaking there from Basin. Great move to stick it up the inside. Kostovich now sniffing the bumper of Griffith.
Nearly pushed Griffith out of the way of Puyan, taking it too slow for him.
Oh, and looks up the inside.
Not going to do it.
Oh my lord, that is a difficult place to go for an up the inside move.
It's very opportunistic, but can be done. Gotta trust the person.
I'm over here looking in the pip too much. Vic Diaz and Nick San going at it. Evan Kim right up beside him. They're gonna go side by side through Eau Rouge.
They're bold.
Oh, the Porsche gets sideways, but they both stay straight. And now Evan's gonna have a tow down the straightaway. And this position is all but his. So it looks like they've got someone coming up to lap them.
Kind of wild. Kosovic actually looking down the inside of the bus stop chicane on Griffith. Griffith's going to have to hold the outside going extremely deep. Kosovic has to hold the outside for the second turn. Going to try for a switchback here. Griffith trying to get the power down as much as possible. Side by side we go here down into turn one. Kosovic not able to get the power down to get ahead. So Griffith, this is his position for Rouge and Radion now.
Meanwhile, we've got leading cars defending blue flag cars here. I'm not sure who the 702 is here, but it looks like they're trying to lap, and yeah, I'm seeing blue flags. I'm very confused because I don't see this car on my board right now.
Unsure.
Oh, it's Bray. It's the bottom of the board. He's trying to unlap himself. Never mind. I take back those statements. That's some very aggressive driving.
It is. Not really what you need to do if you're a lapped car. If you are faster than the car, then you're welcome to unlap yourself, but it doesn't appear you are faster.
No, it's coming down to the hairpin before No Name. It looked like it was a little bit of a forced move. That's why I thought it was a lead car trying to get through.
Nixon and Majid were side by side bashing doors. Majid's trying down on the inside of Nixon here now. Nixon having that forward momentum to take him through that corner. Majid not getting into the side of him. Will hold that position for the time being and has the inside for the next turn. Nixon holds that position for now, but that was some mighty door banging. Majid might try down on the inside of Pouan now. Not going to do it. We'll have to slot right back in. Majid getting a little antsy, a little opportunistic now. I believe he still has damage. He never went in to fix it.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Being up in... Yeah, no, he has not made a pit stop yet.
We'll have to see as Griffith gets sideways. Snap of oversteer. Is able to defend the position from Kostovic. But will Kostovic have him down the straight? That Ferrari power should be able to overtake that Porsche coming in the straight, especially after a squirrely moment. This is an extremely risky place for Kostovic to go up on the inside here. Griffith will have the outside line. They do hold it, clipping the curve as Kostovic. Griffith will have that position. Kostovic might have counted his eggs too early, too soon. I got him.
He's got his eggs, but
They're
they
there.
definitely have not hatched yet.
Correct. Let's count them before they hatch. That's the same. G now all over the back of Nixon.
And Marquez right up on the back of Stasov here, fighting for 19th position.
And Cran now trying to get into this battle of Majid and Nixon here. Straight Kosovic losing a little bit of time to Griffith there. Majid literally on the bumper of Nixon trying to get around. They both actually go off track and invalidate their lap. That's most likely a warning for both of them. Majid trying to get the toe down here the stretch. Doesn't look like he will close that off fast enough, so we'll just have to slot right back in.
It's Jeff Spangler coming in for his pit stop now.
He's having a hard time through some of these flowy corners, it seems like.
Marquez and Stasov now all over each other. Stasov going to hold the defensive line into turn one. Marquez looks to eye up the switcheroo, and he gets right up on the inside of him. Beautiful move at turn one, and now they're going to drag race down to Eau Rouge. I've got my money on Stasov holding the side as they touch coming into the corner. And straight into the wall goes Marquez.
That's race ending damage right there.
Completely agree. Yeah, you can see the skid mark that tire is leaving on the left-hand side there, straight down the road.
That is a off-kilter alignment. He can't even turn right.
No, he cannot. That was a beautiful switcheroo into turn 1, but a very unfortunate ending to that. So it looks like he just turned in a little bit too early to that corner, as if Stasov wasn't there anymore. But the car's not just going to disappear, man.
That will be one for the stewards to watch.
No doubt.
So have fun with that one, stewards. Coming down into turn 1, Majid still all over the back of Nixon, trying something. Nothing really happening. Koltsevich might have a bit of a run here on Griffith down here to Erosion Radion. Well, it did take us almost 40 minutes to get a collision, a wreck. So we'll take it.
And it was a cool one, too. I mean, the car did a 360 in the air.
If you're gonna get into a wreck, you might as well make it cool. Am I right? Am I right?
Exactly.
Majid looking down on the inside of Nixon. Not gonna do it. Trying to fake him out. Not gonna happen here in D1. Majid right back in line. Koltsevich still behind Griffith. At what point do you say you got a pit here?
He needs to pit.
He's obviously faster than Griffith.
This is the second time he's gotten caught up behind somebody. I think at this point, you need to pit. Like, don't bank on it happening again. Oh wow! As that looks like Bray still pushing his way through the field, just went super deep in the braking zone and almost hit Evan Kim.
O'Brien still trying to close the gap to Lehman, but it seems like Lehman always has an answer the second O'Brien starts closing that gap.
Yeah, I wonder if Matt's got a little bit in the bag.
He might have a little bit different strategy here. Pretty big brain. Koltsevich off the road, not going to help his lap time. Will actually fall back due to that. Majid actually falling extremely far back to Nixon now, actually out of the tow.
Shout out Mr. Sir, currently holding the fastest lap of the race, just set on his previous lap of a 2:17.7.
Bravo, bravo.
That is very fast for a race trim lap.
Mm-hmm. That's our Ghost Rider boy right there. Maybe P27, but at least we're fast.
Got a cool livery.
You need to slap the Ghost Rider logo on it somewhere. We'll taint it. Koltsevich driving one of the better runs here on Griffith after Erosion Radion. He's making up a lot of time here. Griffith's going to go down on the inside and hold that position. Koltsevich going to decide to choose the outside lane all the way up next to him. Side by side we go through the turn. Koltsevich able to hold that outside pretty cleanly and will be able to get that move done. Griffith's going to try for a switchback here. Koltsevich able to fend him off and finally gets the position. Majid yellow flagged in the wall.
Oh no. Yeah, I've seen a few drivers go off there, unfortunately. And I mean, carry too much speed in, and that's what happens almost every single time.
And damage.
No doubt. It's Mr. Sir here in your picture-in-picture, all up on James Riley. I'm going to have to say Mr. Sir took tires with his pit stop to get rid of his extra damage. It's Evan going super deep there, and some cars get collected in the bus stop.
Correct. I'm not sure who that was. That was Nick Sand.
And as I looked at that, Mr. Sir got past
3
James
wide.
Riley. Oh my.
2 wide. We're cleaning doors here. Nick Sand trying to get the move done. Does appear to be getting that move done. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these people was a blue flag, I believe.
Yeah, that is that blue Ferrari at the front.
Sam's
gonna go side by side with a lead car and take them out.
That's not what you do.
That's Victor Diaz.
Victor Diaz will be punching the air right now. And another one for
That-
the Stewarts to look at, as Sam is now trying to go down on the inside of Evan Kim. Going to try to box him off using the car in front here. Not going to be able to do the overtake. Evan Kim now all over the back of it. Nick San. Victor Diaz returning to pits and likely not going to return the track.
Gonna hop on board with the Nick San wing cam to give you the other angle of this battle. Show you just how close these cars are getting.
I like that Nick Sam wing cam.
Well, we don't have the Patches O'Hula cam in this division, so gotta have our own.
That's fair, that's fair. Evan Kim trying to make up any time to Nick San. Needs to be extremely cautious though. One small move. Sam gets here in the mix. Might actually try for something here. Not going to do it. Nick San's actually going to do the defensive line. Evan Kim will just have to be forced to stay behind him. San holding that defensive line pretty good. Kim needs to be opportunistic, but he obviously is faster than San currently. Another straight in the draft. San, Kim, Sam. No one looking to make a move down in the bus stop chicane. San's actually going to hold the far right. Invite Evan Kim up the outside. San's still there. Evan Kim's still there. Both of them side by side here. Sam might have just given this position to Evan Kim, but Sam's going to have the inside here for turn one. Might actually potentially lose the position to Sam here. Sam looking to follow Sam right through. Evan Kim trying to get along the outside to at least gain one of these positions back, but Sam looks to be now going alongside with Evan Kim here down to a Rouge and Radion. This is now inviting Robinson in to the pack from the battle. Evan Kim going to take the inside into a Rouge. And that's how you do it. Evan Kim going to let him through. Radion, there's a little bit of movement there in Sam's car, able to hold it straight, but Robinson just comes through and takes both of those positions.
Yeah, it looked like everyone got loose there. Little musical chairs, but thankfully all the cars made it out alive. Well done, Trav Robinson, to take that position. Evan just kind of got ganged up on by Porsches. Poor man.
These things happen. He loses one position as opposed to two. So, I mean, you salvage that. But probably not to the car he thought he was, as Sam in the back is drifting that Porsche around corners now. I mean, Kim's drifting the Ferrari.
Pure chaos is right, Mindhunter. This has been a very wild last 10 minutes. And we still have 15 and a half to go.
15. This is why we love D1 here. Everyone from P10 up also still has to pit. Race Casa still leading the pitters, but is now a minute 13 seconds back from the lead.
He's made up another 5 seconds on Lehman.
Very curious.
Interesting to see that we've actually got 2 grocery sticks amongst the field. It's usually just that leader of the pitters, but Diego's 15 seconds back from Patrick Rust, and Patrick's 26 seconds back from Dan Cran.
Yeah. Gonna get mighty interesting here within the next 12 minutes once the pit window starts closing. Sam is actually making up time here on Evan Kim. Evan Kim needs to get on the horse to try to catch up the Robinson. Robinson's gonna have to get on the horse here soon to catch up the Sam. His battle is going to be kicking off here shortly. Sam's going to get a better exit than Evan Kim down into turn one. Will Sam decide to poke their nose down on the inside into turn one? They are closing the gap. They will go down on the inside here, but we'll just decide to slide right back in line. It's been an exciting race so far. Robinson getting a little squirrely out there. Sam all over the back of Evan Kim, actually going over the line and validating his lap there in Erosion Radion. He has the draft. Sam's coming down on the inside of Evan Kim here. He's holding that inside line. Can he be late enough on the brakes? Late on the brakes he is. Evan Kim will just let him go through. Evan Kim going to try for a switchback. Sam's going to have to pull out of that move because he went too deep. Evan Kim takes the position back and on his horse to Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, that position was his, and I think he recognized that immediately, and that's why he left the door open. As soon as you go into that braking zone and the car's charging in that hard, that's somebody missing their braking point, and it'd be more dangerous to turn in, let him go, and smart move to just hand back the position.
This battle has now invited Kevin Lau and Mr. Sir to join the fight here. Mr. Sir, 3/10 away from Lau right now.
Doing a great job recovering his race after that early spin, and just checking things over. By the amount of time stopped he has, I'm pretty sure he did take tires. 32 seconds stopped, but I guess it was kind of a play with how early he had to stop.
If you gotta
considering
go
the pace he's had.
Gotta go in and fix some damage, you gotta do it.
Started in 13th place, so let's see how close he can get by the end of this.
Everyone, top 10 still at the pit, but I don't think they're gonna be hitting Mr. Sir as he's 2 minutes back. Mr. Sir trying to look up the inside of Lau here into the bus stop. We'll decide against it. Just funnel right in line as this train goes. Sam, Robinson, Kim, Sam, Lau, and Mr. Sir all in a line here for the final 12 minutes. Looking down on the inside again, choosing not to do it. And actually we'll be able to get that move done because too late on the brakes was Lau. So that position will go to Mr. Sir, but he needs to get on his horse to catch up to the rest of the pack. Now the gap has grown to 2 seconds between Lehman and O'Brien.
Yeah, and I'm just showing Matt some love here on the pip camera, and you can still see Peter in the background of the shots.
Not gone by any means.
Yeah, even though it's 2 seconds, he's still there in the mirrors.
This train
Lehman just very solid on his line right now.
This train is hyping up. Evan Kim might actually look here down on the inside of Robinson if he's feeling bold. Not going to do it here on this lap. We'll just stay in line. Sam getting a little bit off kilter there in the back. Mr. Sir has now rejoined the fight and will try to get any kind of position in this battle. One wrong move from anyone could spell disaster for this entire train.
Yeah, it's very awkward to try and make a correction in the middle of these corners when somebody's sliding.
Came very late on the brakes, almost going to the back of Robinson, able to keep it out of him and stay on his line. Superb driving from him.
And I think that's just the difference in car right there. Speed, their ability to take through the corners, as Travis looks like he's starting to have some grip issues, having a hard time getting down to the apexes.
So most of these drivers should probably start having some grip issues here soon, if not already. 10 minutes left in the race, 7.5 left in the pit window. Top 10 still need the pit. Mr. Sir all over the back of Sam. Sam all over the back of Evan Kim. Evan Kim's going to be able to hold off that position, but does go a little deep. Mr. Sir's going to try on the inside here of the second turn of the bus stop. Does look to get the move done. Side by side down here in the turn one we go. Sam will have the inside. Mr. Sir will just back out. Try to get right back into his slipstream. Will try to poke his nose out for turn one. Not going to do it. We'll go right back in line. But beware, Sam. Mr. Sir is right there.
Yeah, I think he knows I'm just going to file in, I'm going to get a good Rouge and Radion, and I'm going to take you down the straightaway. But I don't think he counted on him getting as good of a turn one as he did, as he now jumps into Evan Kim's slipstream.
Everyone taking that Rouge and Radion bump pretty harshly and settling their cars. Sam actually going to go dive down to the inside, try to fend off from Mr. Sir instead of trying to get the slipstream from Evan Kim. Mr. Sir to the outside is later on the brakes than Sam. Actually, will have the inside here for the next turn and will still be side by side for the next turn. Sam has the preferred line, but Mr. Sir is going to be all over that exit there. Mr. Sir still side by side. We're bumping doors now. Sam's going to have the inside line for the next turn. And Mr. Sir just carries all the speed around the outside and will hold that position and will take it from Sam.
That's that name of the game with the Ferrari, man. Just being able to roll so much speed through these corners. But brilliant door-to-door driving from these two. That was insanely close.
He was drifting that Ferrari a little bit around the outside.
Just a little bit. I mean, that door
though.
touch coming down towards the hairpin looked a little bit sketchy as they ran out of pavement on the left-hand side, but good contrast from both of them to shift a bit to the right.
It's now Lau faces Majid in the back of him now. Trying to get past Sam. Evan Kim still all over the back of Robinson here. Actually might have a good enough run here on Robinson to get by. Tries up the inside here. Drag racing down to the bus stop chicane to the turn before it. Robinson will hold the inside for this turn, but Evan Kim able to hold enough speed and just take that position easy.
Yeah, Mindhunter bringing up the good point of not to mention the extra grip from those new tires on Mr. Sir.
Correct, and now Majid's going to try down on the inside of Lau. He actually makes contact there with Sam. Lau's going to go all the way around the turn instead of taking the off-road. We'll keep that position from Majid. Majid
what a shame.
might have to face some wrath of the stewards with that one.
Yeah, and that's one of those difference in line things. I mean, some people carry a lot of speed into the first right-hander and just kind of throw the car in. Some people are a lot more cautious on the brakes. It seemed like Sam was just a little bit more on the brakes than Faz expected.
Mm-hmm. It always sucks when you're the overtaking car. You're right there. You can get done. Just like Mr. Sir is about to get done here on Robinson. To the outside he goes with that Ferrari. Catching the slipstream of Evan Kim in front. Side by side we go down into the corner. Robinson doesn't have enough brakes on him. Mr. Sir will take that and is now over the back of Evan Kim.
Yeah, you know what? I take back the comment I made earlier. I don't think they put tires on his car. I think they installed the Mercedes Brazil engine from 2021. Because guy's just on an absolute tear right now.
He is rolling, but someone has taken his fastest lap. Marquez.
That is correct. Marquez.
17.6 is the new fastest lap to beat.
Definitely another driver who's taken tires tonight.
Mr. Sir. Gonna now set his sights towards Evan Kim now. As this absolute rampage of the Sir happens. Looks on the inside, fakes it, comes right back out. Will slot right back in, doesn't phase Evan Kim one bit. Evan Kim sticks to his lines. We don't mirror watch here. But
Little Diego update. He's made up 1 more second to the leaders now. And O'Brien now just about to crest the 1 second distance mark on Lehman.
Ooh. He's caught right back up. They're lapping relatively the same as well, so. Oh, there's a huge disparity there. Mr. Sir, however, lapping faster than every single car around him, other than Marquez. Trying to get by Evan Kim here. Probably won't get done here on turn 1, but look towards there's Kemmel straight after Rouge and Radion. Just under 5 minutes left in the race. Anyone that has yet to pit from our leaders is most likely coming into the pits now, as we see Lehman and O'Brien into the pits. Probably will force Nordstrom, Mr. Stallsworth, Basin, Kostovich, and Nixon. I think Rust would be our last person who has yet to pit. So everyone should be into the pits who hasn't, or else they will get smacked with a 130 seconds penalty.
Yeah, that's correct. And the top 5 are currently in the pits. Top 6, 7.
Can we make it 8? 8.
Can we make it 9? Hopping on board with you, Mr. Rust.
He's a little farther back.
Yeah, we give him some time.
Mr. Sir still sizing up Evan Kim real quick.
Mindhunter got the better analytics than we do tonight. Menning only 1.5 seconds away from Diego. He might end up in the top 5 when pit stops are said and done.
Will, as Mr. Sir's actually going to look up the inside of Evan Kim at Puyon. Evan Kim's going to back out. Mr. Sir will have that position all day. Now he begins the hunt to Nick San.
And I'm going to hop on board with Diego here as he comes into turn number 1.
Yeah, beat me to it.
See just where...
Lehman is rolling out of the pits now. Going up the hill.
Now, Diego did start the race in P3, so let's see where he sorts out.
Lehman out on track now. He's not going to have a great run, but see, Matt Mooning has a yellow flag, and he's actually spun in the middle of a Rouge and Radion.
Oh no! Mindhunter! The Twitch chat curse! Never mind the commentator's curse.
Ooh, that's a little too... Ooh, that's a little too much inside curb.
Oh no.
That's going to be a lot of rear end damage.
Diego comes out in 3rd place after everything's all said and done, 2 seconds back from O'Brien.
Hey, we take that any day if you're Diego.
Exactly.
Now the battle.
Bunch of F's in the chat.
Yeah.
Yep. F in the chat's pay your respects.
Put it in, Mooning another yellow flag. Not able to hold together. He's literally drifting the car.
Yeah, I mean, very ambitious to try and bring the car around and into the pits, but I mean, oh my.
Yeah.
That cannot be comfortable to drive.
Not at all. He's trying. I mean, there's 2 minutes left in the race. He technically just needs to get it around twice. Oh. See what happens there as the battle between Neville, Mercer, and Wilson starts kicking off here. A little battle's starting to pop up here within the top 15. After all pit stops are said and done. Just under 2 minutes left. Once the leader crosses the line, they'll be on the final lap.
Little Evan Kim update. He's in 20th position. Just sitting behind Mr. Sir right now.
Another yellow.
Menning now tossing another yellow flag as he's trying desperately to get through Puhan and to the end of this race.
He's pulling over now.
I think he might just pull over and wait for the leader to pass him so that he only has to get to the line.
It's smart. He's probably laying traffic by currently.
More traffic, that too.
He is laying traffic by. He'll most likely wait at the bus stop.
I can see that.
Wilson, all over the back of Mercer. Leader is on the final lap.
Kostovich looking to make one more stab for an overtake here. Fighting Bison on his last lap for P10. Nate Spetch trailing on Stallworth for P8.
Wilson has the draft on Mercer here, down on the Kemmel straight. Will he decide to make a move? Dives to the outside here. Can he be laying up on the brakes? He is trying to hold that outside line, but it won't be enough to get the inside for the next turn. We'll have to slot right back in. I don't think there's going to be a better opportunity. Griffith now and Nixon down to the end of the straight. Griffith's going to take the outside. Nixon has to hold the inside here in the AMR. Griffith not as late on the brakes as Nixon, but Griffith's still there alongside of him. Nixon respecting the fact, but holding too much speed. We'll have that inside. Griffith not going to get that position at all as Blue Flag trying to come in and unlap themselves. As side by side we go again. Nixon holding the inside line. Griffith not going to fight it. We'll just slot right back in. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay. Just got Mr. Sir in the pip here, chasing down Nick Sand for P17.
Most of it is said and done. It's going to be extremely hard to get any kind of overtake done in these final sections of the track. Spangler, yellow flag, and across the line. Moaning is just waiting for the leader. Lehman has been leading the race all day. Spending all from O'Brien will come home to take P1 Silver Division winner tonight. O'Brien will be your Gold Division winner tonight.
As Kostovich just pushing Bison right down to the last corner here, right down towards the bus stop. He's going to jump to the inside and make a look. Heavy on the brakes, forces him to leave room, but not enough. Not close enough. Bison smart, parks it on the apex, and gets the good run down to the corner, holds off P10.
So now we focus our attention here to Mr. Sir. Try getting a position on Nick Sand right now, literally sniffing the bumper of Nick Sand. Mr. Sir's going to have the inside line for these next upcoming corners. Nick Sand trying to hold off, do anything. They've smashed doors a little bit, forces Sand wide. Mr. Sir holding that line. Now Sand has to defend from Evan Kim. Evan Kim on the outside. Sir's going to be able to hold that position. Sand still on the inside. Little touch there to Evan Kim from Sand. Evan Kim will have that position from Sand, and Sand not able to claw his way back. Evan Kim gets that position. Sand loses out 2 in the last 2 corners.
Evan Kim. Driver of the day by a absolute long shot.
Opportunistic.
41st position to 17th.
Oh my god.
What a race.
Extremely good race. We are still waiting for the final cars to cross the line. Just to make it official, Colodromo rejoining us after his disconnect.
Welcome back, sir.
P32, it looks like.
Not too bad.
P30 on your screen. I think that's because a few people left. Recover some points there. See if we can get... puts in low. O'Brien and Lehman on an interview. This is Dromo expressing his frustration. Last few drivers just trying to make it to the line, not doing anything fancy. And Spangler's going to do some fancy stuff for stream. But we'll make it to the end of the line. Good race from everyone.
And we have our race winner here. Ready to go.
We do already?
We do.
You are on it today. Let me just get everything sorted. I wasn't ready. Matt Lehman, congratulations on winning Spa in the Silver Division in the McLaren. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thank you guys. It's a bit of a tough one because, whole race long I had Peter O'Brien behind me, and he wasn't going to let go. Started the race, got a decent start, and, first few laps I was able to build about a second or so of a gap, and that proved to be crucial because that gap basically stayed consistent throughout the whole race. Just had to focus on hitting my marks, making sure I nailed the pit stop, which thankfully I did, and was able to hold on.
It looked like you guys were trading blows in terms of lap times, like just trying to inch closer, inch a little bit further ahead. Did you ever feel the need to push any harder, or were you just kind of just stick to my gun, stick to my line, it'll come?
Yeah. I wasn't fully I wasn't focused on extracting 110% or whatever. It was just kind of hit my brake markers, hit them every time. If I have to back it up, half a foot or a foot or so, just to be on the safe side, I would do that. Towards the end of the race, though, coming towards the bus stop, I kept fucking it up because just with how the shadows fell later in the race, I kind of lost my brake marker, so made it a little bit tricky there. But thankfully, it didn't cost me too much time, and but it was tough. Yeah, you're exactly right. Every single lap, I would look down and look at the lap times. We were constantly within a 10th or 2.
Yeah, it was very cool to see.
I do have to ask how you feel about the wet with the new patch if you practiced.
So I've never driven the wet in 1.9, so it's gonna be interesting because next week is Wet Watkins Glen, so I'm gonna have to practice.
So wet.
Yeah, and I'm also supposed to be doing the coaching session this Thursday, so we'll see how that goes.
Practicing early. Can't wait to see what you do in the wet at Watkins Glen. Hopefully we'll be talking to you a bit more. Maybe shed that silver tag off you after winning this race. Who knows? See what happens.
Well, 2 wins in a row. I mean, this guy's pretty much a gold driver, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, we'll see about that. It's up to the Evans.
Put him in alien. Thank you
Perfect.
for talking with us, Lehman. I wish you luck next week in the race. Enjoy the race win.
All right, thanks guys. Later.
Class act. And Peter O'Brien already ready to go. Our gold race winner. Usually that's P1, but P2 today. How you feeling, Peter?
Pretty good. You?
After watching that, my voice hurts, but it might have been a little boring from your perspective, but everything behind you was popping off. Well, you're constantly within a second of a Lehman, maybe two. Well, what was the thinking? Were you just trying to extract too much, play it safe?
Game plan when I went into the race was just see where I qualify and figure it out from there. When I knew I was on the front row, I knew Lehman was going to be quick because we did the practice race last night and the qualifying was exactly the same. We were 1 and 2. His car was just way too quick on the straights for mine. The only place where I would have been able to make an overtake was Sector 2, and his car was still fast enough to keep me away from him through there. After I made a few mistakes with like 15 or 20 minutes left, I kind of just went into let's finish the race mode and just tried to putz around and make sure I didn't get passed by anyone who did a massive undercut.
Well, it seemed to have worked out for you, at least in your gold division. We kind of look forward here to the Glen and the wet next week. How are you feeling about that? Have you driven in the wet in 1.9 yet?
I think I have done a grand total of 3 laps in the wet. But I am hopeful because the Lambo seems like it makes stupid amounts of downforce. So I think I'll be okay in the wet. I'm hoping.
Well, get your practice in. You have a week till then. So we'll see you then. Hopefully be talking to you again, maybe in the Alien Division if you're so lucky.
Hey, hopefully.
Have a good night, Peter. Enjoy the victory. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you, man. Have a good night.
Class act.
And to round off the podium, Mr. Diego Fimbres Casas.
Yes, hello. How you doing, guys?
How was
Not too bad.
How was the race? We saw you pit pretty early. Seemed to work out for you, P3.
Yeah, I don't know. The car felt weird at the start. I don't know. Like I just couldn't get it up to pace, and then Nordstrom was like really close to me. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna fight it. I don't want to screw my tires. So that's why I decided to pit early. And thankfully, I came out in clear air. So in clean air. So that's what I wanted. And I was just mostly chilling throughout the majority of the race. But then when the tower started to kick in, that's when things started to get interesting. I was constantly fighting the car. It's an interesting car to drive, to say the least. And also Michael moaning, he was catching up to me slowly, so I had to kind of sort of push to maintain a gap because he was closing, I think, like 2/10 a lap, something like that. Because he was so much quicker than me through the sector. I just had no grip through Puhan. The thing just didn't want to turn in.
Oh.
It refused to turn in, and then it's just like a PSA for everyone driving the Porsche, the 992. Please don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
No, it's like you can get pace out of it, you can get good lap times out of it, but like throughout this stint, like my biggest issue with the car at the moment is that it's so unpredictable. I don't know why.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, it's really unpredictable because, for example, I think at the latter end of the stint, like for some reason the car just I think for like 2 laps it started to feel alive again. So I did, I think, like an 18.5 or an 18.6 that just came out of nowhere. And I was like, what the hell? The last lap I was struggling to keep like the thing on track, and now I pulled out this lap out of my ass. And then the next lap is back to being shit. So it's like, what are we doing, car?
That's
But
an
yeah.
interesting curve to try and learn.
Yeah. But I'm glad with the P3. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty happy. I'll take it.
Hopefully you
That's
can
awesome.
replicate it next week. Next week's wet walk-ins, Glenn. How you feeling about that one?
Oh my goodness. I haven't seen much of the Porsche, of this new Porsche in the wet, so I hope that it is good. And I had never driven at walk-ins in the wet, so that's gonna be quite the adventure, I think. I don't know how The bus stop is gonna work. That's gonna be interesting. But
We'll make sure all cameras are on you at every single moment of
oh
that
please,
race.
no, please no, not the commentators curse, please.
We had a lot of it tonight, I'll say that. So we're locked and
Oh.
loaded for next week as well.
Yeah.
Well, P3 for you tonight. Enjoy the victory. Get your practice in for the Glen. Have a good one, Diego.
Thank you. Have a good one. Take care, guys. Good night.
Have a good night,
Right.
boss.
Bye bye.
Good guy, good guy, good guy.
Always.
Any rounding thoughts, Damiani?
I mean, Spa turned out to be everything that I thought it was going to be. I mean, quite the battle in the trains, never-ending fight if you don't make the move on the first try, and a mess on the tires. I'm thankful we didn't see as many yellow flags as I thought we were going to see. I just didn't say that number out loud. But even the accidents we did see, I mean, they're unfortunate, but it's the result of this tight of splits racing on this kind of track.
Extremely tight, and I just want to give an announcements to our affiliates who are extremely tight. Armentario, Track Racer, Ghost Setups, all of them great people. All your Go setup needs, all your sim racing needs, overlay needs, go there. If you're in the Discord, go to the hashtag affiliates chat. You can learn more about them. And if you kind of want to join the league, you thought, man, that looks fun, I want to do that. Clean racing, chance of getting spun out in chaos, yeah, I'm in for it. Go to simracingalliance.com. You can go there, join the league, join the Discord, come in. We're all a bunch loving group of people. We're all here to help. We all have a fun time. And there's a few other extra activities we do, such as multi-class endurance series. There's even fantasy leagues for this GT3 team series that goes on season to season. So come in, join simracingalliance.com.
That's right. And even if you just want to check out that fantasy league, be sure to check out the Coach Jeffries Academy at coachjeffriesacademy.com, I believe, as well. And there you can find all the rosters on the fantasy, the Conglomerate Cup, and all the other fun stuff that the coach provides for the league. So a whole lot of fun going on here.
Fun league. Come join us. Well, we sign off from Spa. We're leaving Belgium and we're going over to America, New York specifically. Watkins Glen next week in the wet. We'll see you all next time. Join stream tomorrow for D2 and D3 on YouTube. Bye, everyone.
Pray for us.